Crispy, Bhagat Singh here. It's hot out. It's summer here in Texas. We are cooking. I think it's triple digits. If it hasn't hit it today, it's going to, and we're in that stream where it just does that. Um, Simmer in the summer. It's good. It's a season of heat and transformation. A time potentially to guard and contain some of that energy so that those with a more fiery constitution don't burn out of control, but still a real sense of potency, of deep energetic involvement and engagement. So I wanted to talk to you briefly about something in the practice today that came to me as I was practicing myself the other day and then teaching, and it's something that occurs to me. Um, I like to talk about the efficiency in the practice, especially in a vigorous vinyasa flow, even if it's not a swift flow, which I don't really go for, but a really nice slow meditative flow. There's a lot of integrity and intensity in there. And so as we're moving through the practice, it serves us to have a natural efficiency of movement and minimize extraneous motions, minimize foundation changes in terms of moving the hands, moving the feet in the transitions, so that the efficiency of the energy is contained within the practice. Physically, this works on one level. So if you think about it, if you're going to do let's just say you're going to do a vinyasa practice like 45 minutes to an hour, potential of doing 30 vinyasas in that period of time. If you're the kind of person who has to adjust and arrange your hands and your feet between every chaturanga down, up, dog, down, you're doing that some, 120 times during the practice with each of your limbs. And so there's a movement, a loss of stability, the rest of the body has to hold. Granted, they're brief moments, but I think that this can be an energetic drain. Similarly, and the topic I wanted to get to in this conversation is in the practice, and especially Ashtanga Vinyasa, there's a holding period to bring the breath back to some solemnity, some steadiness. And so oftentimes we'll stop in down dog for a series of 3, 4, 5 breaths. And during that time, the intention is to actually hold the body in stasis and bring the breath back to a nice centered point and move the tension out on the exhales and bring the refreshment and reclaim some of the energy on the inhale. What happens, and it's natural, I do this and I watch people do it all the time, and we know why we think we're doing it, but we move and we adjust and we think, oh yeah, basing the next fingers, spread the fingers wider, okay, broaden my shoulders, okay, tighten the chin, now pull those ribs down, now tuck the, bend my knees a little bit more, lengthen the sacrum, get up on the balls of my feet, oh look at my feet, they're not, hide the heels one way or the other, and it becomes a litany of distraction that even in our best of intention to refine the pose or to find a deeper expression of the pose, we actually avoid the pose entirely. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about today, here in the summer, when it also makes sense to slow down and be maximally efficient. 2 trips to the garage is better than 1 in the summer if possible. But 2 separate slow trips is a hell of a lot better than going out there and having to spend 15 minutes picking up the stuff you dropped in the 1 trip. So thoughtfulness, planning ahead, but also realizing sometimes just staying close, contained, with the energy directed and focused without all of those micro adjustments, and you might actually sustain something a little deeper, something a little more attracted towards the sensation instead of distracted away from it. Because ultimately I believe that's one of the things we do, is we distract ourselves from the gross sensation of the asana with this continued self-adjustment. So I'm a fan of getting into the pose and taking a few breaths to get into the pose, but when I say take a few breaths to get into the pose, and it's 3 or 4 breaths, take a breath to futz and adjust, roll the shoulders and engage the arms and find the lines. Then hold. And then just stay with the expression of holding. And even if it could be better like this, don't do that. Just hold. And have the experience of stasis, where the body provides sensation, but not distraction. And that's what I wanted to offer you today, in the midst of the heat, in the midst of a lot of opportunity to try to think about anything else. Slow down, be present to what is, and minimize the extraneous actions, be that distractions in your workplace, distractions in your relationship, or distractions in your practice. Or notice when you think you're settled, how much movement there still is. Don't curse, don't condemn, just observe and see if you can modify slightly. And while you're doing that, try to give some thanks and praise. That's it for today. Stay cool. Namaste.